Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment market so you can understand what we're seeing in the global economy. You know, Europe continues to be a mess. The leaders of all these 17 nations are getting together tomorrow to talk about more plans and more strategies and more bailouts and how they're going to fix not only the Greece crisis, but the Spanish crisis, and then we've got the Italy crisis, and then there will be Portugal, and it kind of keeps going down the road. In fact, there was a fifth, Cyprus was the fifth country actually asked for a bailout, and I believe that was 2 days ago. And basically there's no really concrete, really facts or evidence that they actually have any master plan. They keep meeting. As you probably understand, it's hard enough for the United States with one government to basically make any kind of realistic, reasonable decisions. Imagine 17 countries all getting together trying to make a decision. It's almost impossible. Now, do I think Greece is going to leave the euro? There's a good possibility. Ultimately, what I think would probably be the best thing for Germany, which seems to be the only powerhouse over in Europe and actually has any real money and has really probably the least amount of debt, is probably Germany to say, hey, we've had enough, we're leaving and we're going back to our own currency and you guys handle your own problems. I don't know that that's going to happen today, but in reality that would probably be the best thing in the world for Germany. Would it hit their economy and hurt them temporarily? Yes. But would it ultimately probably save them trillions of dollars instead of bailing everybody else out? I think definitely. I think at the end of the day there's just too many problems over in Europe. There's too many issues that are going to affect the European economies. And of course, Europe is about 25% of the world GDP growth, gross domestic product. We're about 25, about 23, let's call it 25. And then you throw in the emerging markets and all the other countries, about 50%. So Europe would have a huge impact. Obviously, Spain is definitely in a major recession. It looks like other parts of Europe are already headed in that direction or are there. Will there be the next Great Depression over in Spain? My guess is probably, if that hasn't actually already started also. So that's going to have an impact on us. The numbers coming out of the United States, generally speaking, have been slow. We are muddling through at best. And, you know, ultimately, if there's an upset to the apple cart, that could ultimately push us into a recession. Now, our global tactical opportunity strategy, our relative strength, which basically directs us in relatively strong sectors and out of relatively weak sectors, took us out of much weaker sectors over the last couple months, those being emerging markets and then U.S. stocks and equities at the beginning of this month. We continue to not have any signs in our global tactical that anything has been relatively strong. And at the end of this month, when we do our reallocation based upon our system, we probably, unless there's a major change in the next couple days, we will continue not to really own equities within our portfolio, and we basically will have what we call the risk-off scenario, meaning we're in a very conservative stance right now within all of our client portfolios, between treasuries, high-grade corporates, cash, and the like. And we also have a short position in the market against the S&P short, meaning when the market goes down, that position can actually go up. We are very defensive, very cautious right now because that is what our relative strength is leading us to, and we are out of really heavy risk assets. So while in the short term we'll see a little bit of fluctuation in the markets, ultimately what we're looking for is some kind of real direction. And this whole mess with Europe, unless they come out with a master plan in the next couple days, I really don't see the equity markets going any higher until a lot of this is resolved. So a lot of it is really dependent on what happens in Europe. And of course, the numbers here in the States continue to, you know, really be weak growth at best. And it's going to be interesting to see how the numbers come out tomorrow and Friday on the unemployment side, on the initial jobless claims. We're seeing Spanish and Italian debt over 6%, which is a really troublesome sign. And those are some of the things we're looking at. We're also looking at oil. Oil hit a multi-year low basically in the last couple days. And as oil goes down, what that tells you typically is you have a weak economy, and oil keeps going down. So that tells us we have a weak economy and it could be actually getting weaker. So again, one of the reasons for the conservative stance, we're going to run our portfolio strategy, which includes risk management in severe down markets. And if everything breaks loose, I guess, around the world, we're going to be properly positioned, in our opinion, for any kind of major disasters. Now, of course, if the magic bullet comes out and things reverse course, we're going to be back in those assets that are going to be most rewarded because we can gravitate to any investment sector around the world, and that includes cash, short the market, bonds, and the like. If you have questions about your portfolio, obviously give our office a call if you're a client. If you're a non-client and you would like to become a client, we always like taking on new people who are nice people to do business with. Call our office for a consultation. We'd love to talk to you. Make sure you do listen to this Sunday show. Our radio show is going to be fantastic. And of course, tonight we've got our TV program that's going to air at 6 p.m. in Southwest Florida, Comcast Channel 9. That's already, from our indications, have been a big hit. Again, have yourself a profitable week. And if you do have questions, make sure you give us a call. We'll talk to you on Sunday.